5 healthy masculine traits I learned from the book From the Core that I want to share with you that have really enhanced the quality of my life in multiple areas. So welcome back to the Men's Mental Health Podcast today. This is one of my favorite books, From the Core, John Wineland. And John Wineland's a great coach, great teacher. I've not worked with him personally one-on-one or anything like that, but he goes around and does a lot of workshops, a lot of teachings around the masculine and the feminine, and helps men really get the best out of themselves by going deep, having more fulfilled relationships with your partner, having more meaning in life, and ultimately that relationship with yourself as a man. And I remember getting this book back in 2023. I had a coach at the time who recommended it. And it was my first men's coach, actually, I was working with. And we were doing a lot of somatic work, and it was really helping. But I was also going through quite a hard time in my dating and relationship life. And I thought this book would be really good. And I got the book towards the end of that situation, but I remember reading the book and really applying it to myself, working myself, and then how I interact with other people. Not just romantic relationships and dating, but like with other people generally in the world. And it had just a profound effect on me. And that's why I really wanted to share like 5 of the lessons I learned from today. Because we hear all these definitions about what is masculinity, what is femininity, and it doesn't mean all men are masculine and all women are feminine, right? We all have both energies. We all have a masculine energy and a feminine energy. Now, as an individual, as a person, whatever gender you identify as, you're usually stronger in one rather than the other. And for me, I've got a quite a bit stronger masculine energy. But I also really do work on my feminine energy as well. And for me, when I got another men's coach, he really taught me what masculinity was. And there's all these different influences and people and all these things on social media, right? And we're like, who do we believe? Who do we follow? And actually what I've discovered is like, just learn from someone who's got what you want, who lives a healthy lifestyle and, seems grounded. And I got myself a coach who had all these. He had a great relationship. He's got a great relationship. He's got a baby now. He'd overcome all these challenges and really worked on himself. And he kind of defined it for me that what he understood by masculinity was by being the container, setting some direction and moving with it. Whereas the feminine was more about the flow, the emotions and experiencing things. But the masculine was holding the container for that. And lots of times I've kind of thought it's about looking all alpha male and achievement, success, and it really isn't when I learned what masculinity is. And again, it's always I'm always open to hearing people's different views, but that's what it means to me personally. And you can't argue with what someone believes. So as always, I'm just sharing my own personal views and beliefs today. And these 5 things really help me develop more of a healthy masculinity within me and therefore get clarity. Clarity is also a great masculine quality. Have more clarity, have more direction, and have more groundedness in myself to therefore move forward. So these are the 5 things I want to share with you. Number 1, in the book, John Wineland talks about connecting to love for 30 minutes. What does that mean? It means connecting to the heart, connecting to really not being caught in the resentment, the frustration, the anger, which you're a human being, that's going to happen, right? But consciously connecting to the greatness in the world, gratitude, thinking what you love about your partner if you've got a partner, or thinking about what you love about your family or your friends, thinking about forgiveness, like maybe there's someone who you felt did wrong to you. How can you forgive them? It's not about them, what they did right, but it's allowing yourself to free up. And actually even just visualizing the heart. Because when I can connect to what I love doing every day, but also have time in meditation to be really, and I have a lot of time doing inner work every single day. I have 1 to 2 hours a day. I tend to do it later in the day as well now, because in the morning I like to get cracking on with the business stuff before I get tired later in the day. And yeah, for me, finding that 30 minutes to connect to love makes me just have a a better perception of life, and therefore move forward and not hold this anger, this resentment, this energy, these emotions that can drain energy. So that's the first thing that's really helped me. Number two, time alone. Kind of goes off a little bit of what I just said. Like, I allow myself at least 1 hour a day for like inner work. But how much, and time alone does not mean scrolling on social media, by the way. That is not time alone. That's like just distracting yourself. Time alone, even if it's 10 minutes a day, just finding time to be with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. Because the more you can do that, the more you can connect with yourself. And the more you can connect with yourself, the more you can connect with others. It's crazy. Just try like a week of 10 minutes alone, sitting in a room, no phone. You can have a stopwatch or something if you want for the 10 minutes. Or you could have your phone outside the room with a stopwatch. But 10 minutes sitting alone and just seeing what comes up, because insights and profound experiences that I've come up with when I'm just with myself alone is wow, so powerful. It's not the same as meditation either. He's very clear in the book. But when you allow time to really hear yourself, not like this mental chatter that's going on from all the overstimuli and things that are going on in the world, like the, TV, media, social media, all these kind of things. But time alone, that really strengthens your own intuition with you, that I personally found anyway. And I'm able to like feel better about, like feel more into the decisions and know where I'm going as a result, because I'm following my own internal compass. Number three, ask for honesty from yourself and others. The truth will set you free, as they say, and I think that's very, very true. Now, that does not mean for me that I need to blurt out all my secrets and all my like challenges and all like the worst stories of my life on the top of the roof. No, but it means for me, just being honest. Like, am I on track with where I want to go? Are the behaviors I've done today serving me? And I'm a human being, so I'm going to get caught up on bad habits now and then, right? But getting brutally honest with myself allows awareness. When I have awareness, I'm allowed to set things. And what I do, I'm very kind of like tracking it down and writing it. That's an essential. But when I write stuff down, I've got a habit tracker of all the things I'm doing and the things I say I'm not going to do as bad habits. And I track that every single day. But when I'm brutally honest with myself, I can see where I need to improve to therefore enhance the quality of my life. And honesty from others, like I would be careful who you ask it from, because some people just may not quite be on the level of awareness and development that you're on. But if you've got people you trust, who respect, who can give you really good feedback, ask them to be honest with you, right? Do you feel like I'm on track? Do you feel like I'm not? What do you think are my best qualities? What do you think are maybe my bad habits? Because the more you can do that, the more you can get honest, the more you can improve. If you hide away from your flaws, they will just come back to bite you, I found. So it's not about asking someone to slag you off or something like that, but it's about just asking people for that honesty so that you can move forward and improve yourself. Number four, own your desires and insecurities. I really like this one. Not easy to do. And again, it does not mean with the insecurities that you need to shout out all your insecurities from the rooftops. No, you could either just talk to yourself to begin with, but sharing with another person can really help. But like, if you're hiding something away from you, the truth, it's just damaging your relationship with yourself. Like, I've had to admit one or two things to myself in my life, around my health, around money in the past, whereby I've had to be like brutally honest. Yeah, what you're doing is not supporting you right now. It's not serving you right now. And actually owning that so that I can move forward. It kind of links off the last one, but really owning those insecurities, that I'm responsible for working through them. Like, I've been someone who's guilty of this, but I'm just going to call this out. Oh, I keep self-sabotaging myself. Oh, everything's so hard. Well, you have a responsibility to change that. I've been in some communities and you hear comments like this. Oh, my subconscious is self-sabotaging me. Like, well, yeah, but who's in charge of your behavior? Who can change your subconscious? You can. So when you can own those insecurities and actually know where you are and say, I'm going to be responsible for working through them. Like, and there's some things you might not be able to change, right? But own them. They're part of you, right? And then own your desires. Be honest on what you want. Be honest. Don't say, I want this because it sounds good and society told me to have that, my parents told me to have that. Actually own what you truly, truly want. Own your desires. Because when you honor that, you're going to build a relationship with you. You're going to be more attractive to other people because you're following your life. It's just such a great thing. And then the final one, the antidote to fear is love. How many times can we get caught up on fear in our life? Like a lot, because we're humans. We have a brain that's built for survival, a part of it, right? The reptilian part of the brain. And you're looking for dangers as a result. But the thing is, they're often not real life dangers, but then the brain doesn't always know that. What someone thinks of you, or someone saying no to you, whether that's a job, a date, or whatever, right? I found that I can perceive that as like life or death, right? And yeah, sometimes things are going to hurt, right? But the antidote to that I've always found is like going in a loving place. So say you're scared of putting yourself out there on social media, a common one, and don't get into doom scrolling or anything, but say you want to put yourself out there, share your message, or on a podcast. I talk to a lot of people who are like, I want to share my message, and I'm like, you need to share your message. People need to hear you, right? Even if they don't want to work with me, that's totally fine. You know, I don't resonate with everyone, but it's like people need to hear you. And do you know what? The fear is, what do people think of me? The love is, I'm going to help at least one person in the world, right? That's how you can flip it. Someone does something like, this is obviously going to be a test, because some people do obviously some horrendous things for other people in the world, right? But let's say someone just didn't say something very nice to you. You had, maybe it's an ex, and you had like an argument, you know, there's just some verbal back and forth that didn't work out, right? Well, the fear, the anger, all that kind of thing that's coming up is often like, I'm not good enough, I failed, that. And yeah, it can hurt us, right? But the antidote's love. Now, that does not mean you need to be like, oh, you're amazing, oh, and all that kind of thing, and fake that, because that's not going to work, is it? But maybe the loving thing in that situation is just to set them free, lose communication, you know, pray for them, hope they have good, but if you do pray or whatever, but like actually thinking good intentions for them and forgiving them, like that may be harder to do for some others, but maybe the act of love is just cutting them off. Like I've done that. Like I'm like, look, okay, it's fine, it didn't work out, but actually I'm really hurt. I'd prefer it if we lose contact. That's an act of love for myself, right? Or someone might be, have really hurt you in like work or said something harsh, right? The loving thing you can do there is be like, okay, I'm hurting, but I'm not going to hold on to this anger forever. I'm going to release it so I can move on in my career, right? So that's the final point that I really learned, and it's a work in progress, right? And there's some situations where it's really hard to release the fear, whether that's the fear of not being enough, not being lovable, or like something's coming up for you. I get it. But like the beauty of getting into a loving place and having a high frequency, I found has really served me. Like things will show up more when I'm in a loving frequency than when I'm not. So those are the 5 healthy masculine traits I learned from the book, from the core. To recap, number 1, connect to love every single day. Number 2, find time alone. Number 3, ask for honesty from both yourself and other people. Number 4, own your desires and insecurities. And then number 5, the antidote to fear is love. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you for listening. I always appreciate you being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.